South African taxpayers. Well, we're being told that we're probably going to have to foot a massive bill before load shedding comes to an end. And that's according to the Minister of Electricity, Dr. Kgosientsho Ramokgopa. He says that there were deliberate design flaws in the building of the Medupi power station in Limpopo. He pointed to the use of poor quality products and the cutting of corners in the design and construction of the power plant. And he's been visiting a number of power stations, Medupi and Matimba, the latest in his nationwide tour. Well, to talk to us a little bit about what all of this might mean, we're now joined by Professor Sampson Mamphweli, who's the head of the Department of Science and Innovation's Energy Secretariat at the South African National Energy Development Institute, of SANEDI. Prof, thanks very much indeed for joining us. I dare say the revelations from the electricity minister are not new. We've known this for some time.
Good evening, Peter, and the viewers. Yes, unfortunately, the viewers can't see me because I'm sitting on load shedding. I speak of the devil. Yes, these revelations are not new. We know about the design flaws and the cost escalations that followed those design flaws and the use of substandard equipment and substandard work that was done at both Medupi and Kgosientsho. And you will recall that in August 2021, after Medupi had reached commercial operation, we had an explosion of one of the generators at Unit 4 that took away about 800 megawatts. And that was because the unit was not properly automated due to the issues around the design flaws. So basically they were operating the unit manually, or the entire power station, part of it was being operated manually. And that led to human error, which led to that big explosion that was estimated to have costed about 2.5 billion rand to fix. And all these design flaws, like I said, and they're coming at a huge cost. Eskom at some point focused on fixing some of these design flaws from their balance sheet. And as we know, the balance sheet for Eskom is not that healthy. And that also added to load shedding because Eskom couldn't use the money to fix other problems in other power stations.
All right, so one doesn't even know where to start here. Billions is we're being told that the taxpayer is going to have to fork out. How confident are we that there are no more issues going forward in spending this money?
We are not 100% confident at the moment because, like I said, Eskom has already spent quite a lot of money fixing those design flaws at both Medupi and Kgosientsho. And at some point, we reached a point where Eskom said they were quite confident that they're getting those flaws under control. So it's a matter of the fact that Eskom has already spent a lot of money in the building of the two power stations. So they are thinking that it's better for us to try and spend a little bit more money in fixing these two power stations. At some point, it was estimated that Eskom would need close to 20 billion rand just to fix the design flaws, and afterwards there will be reliability. But they've spent quite a lot of money at the moment. I think it's close to 8 billion rand. And the problems don't seem to be going away. Like the electricity minister was saying, some of the equipment that was used was substandard. The designs also, there were flaws on the designs. So they are caught between a rock and a hard stone and a hard surface because they need to then fix the design part, and they also need to be doing root cause analysis on the part of the parts that were used because people were cutting corners like you indicated in some cases, and in some cases they were using substandard equipment. So they need to basically identify all the substandard equipment and remove them and put new equipment at both Medupi and Kgosientsho. And that's a process that takes quite a long time.
We're told it could be 2025 before that is solved. Does that mean that we will have an energy crisis until then, or will these other alternatives that are coming online be enough of a cover?
Yeah, we need new generation capacity to come online as quickly as possible. Both Medupi and Kgosientsho combined, they are supposed to bring in about 9,500, 9,600 megawatts. That's close to 10,000 megawatts that they're supposed to have been bringing in. And if you look at every time we have load shedding, we're looking at breakdowns totaling about 15 to 16,000 megawatts. So we need, and ESCOM always talk about 4,000 to 6,000 megawatts new generation capacity that we need. My view is that we need about 15,000 megawatts to come online. There are interventions, though, that were introduced, especially from July last year when the President announced the Energy Action Plan. And some of those interventions included bringing in new generation capacity, bringing in battery storage facilities. I've seen the request, the RFP that was issued by Minister Mamphweli, I think it was 2 weeks ago, on 500 megawatts of battery storage. There's quite a lot of other new build programs that are coming in through the IPP space, where IPPs are producing power, are going to be producing power for private customers, basically taking away some of the big customers that ESCOM rely on, which will basically affect the ESCOM balance sheet as well. But in terms of bringing new generation capacity, that is something that is welcome. The Minister of Mineral Resources and Energy already announced a number of megawatts under the REAP program that we are expecting to come online in the next 18 to 20 months or so. So if you look at all the interventions and the fact that with the declaration of the national state of disaster, some of these, mainly the 6 power stations that are problematic, that have been identified by ESCOM as being problematic, are supposed to be solved. If they fix those power stations and we get to energy availability factor above 70% in all those power stations, load shedding will be eased quite drastically. The question on the side of fixing of the power stations is where will the money come from? Because National Treasury is giving ESCOM money, 250-something billion rand, to pay off the debt, and they've instructed them to use money from their balance sheet to fix the power stations. And we all know that the balance sheet at ESCOM at the moment is in the negative. ESCOM always posts negative numbers at the end of the financial year, basically, which means that they don't have money. They don't have additional money to fix the current power stations. So money needs to come from elsewhere to fix the 6 power stations so that they can be reliable going forward.
Professor Mamphweli, we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you so much indeed for joining us on the program tonight. And very sad to see that you're caught in this energy outage at this time, but I suppose it speaks volumes about the conversations that